Henry VIII said something, and then Thomas Cromwell sort of took him literally and got rid of all the monasteries. They'd already been doing surveys of them, and Thomas Cromwell supposedly, in inverted commas, had found that they were misbehaving, not following the Benedictine rules, getting married, having children. So basically, you know, he said to Henry that they're not doing their job, and there's a very good source of income if you want it. So they not only took all their lands, but they stripped all the gold, the effigies, all the saints' tombs, because you know, all these monasteries would have had saints. They didn't have a saint in a monastery. They didn't have pilgrims. If they didn't have pilgrims, they didn't have any money because they didn't have offerings. So all the saints' tombs were covered in pilgrims' offerings. All that was stripped away. Anything to do with the Virgin Mary was destroyed, statues. Chantry chapels, this is a rare survival because it was the king's brother up here, Prince Arthur's Chantry Chapel. But they were destroyed all around the country. Several in this very cathedral were destroyed. So they were stripped out basically. And over 800, as I said, disappeared. And the major ones in towns, the Henry VIII refounded the monastery church as a cathedral, which he did here, and at the same time in many of the cathedrals he founded a king's school attached to the cathedral, as we have here. So we have a school attached to the cathedral, was founded by Henry VIII.
So he did some good stuff.
He did some good stuff, but I think the bad stuff far outweighs the good. But it's interesting to note that up there is buried King Henry VIII's older brother, Prince Arthur.
Where?
In that Chantry Chapel.
Ah.
He married Catherine of Aragon the first time at the age of 15, set up court at Ludlow and died 4 months after he got married. So it's interesting to note that the death of one 15-year-old boy altered the whole course of history of this country. Because if he hadn't died, Henry VIII wouldn't have been king, he wouldn't have broken with Rome, we could still be a Catholic country. Although the Protestant religion was around, it didn't necessarily mean that we would have broken with Rome if Henry VIII hadn't done so.